Hey, everybody. It is Melissa with MJH Designs, and we are going to draw a church today. Here is the church that we are going to attempt to draw. And this is a photo reference from Robin Spielman from Unsplash. I am borrowing the photo to try to draw the church today. So, remember when you are drawing for practice, just to learn to draw and things, you want to draw as much of it as you can to help you with angles and direction of things and depth and all that kind of stuff. But truthfully, if you're just, once you're comfortable with drawing a lot and just get, you just want to get the basic outlines on there. If you're going to paint it, that is. If you are drawing to draw a fantastic drawing of something, then you want to take your time. There's a whole different style of drawing that I'm talking about. I don't do that. I mainly draw just for fun and just a release of my creative energy and boredom sometimes. And it helps me so much with my paintings when I go to paint a painting. So if I were to draw this church off for the purposes of painting, I wouldn't put hardly any detail in it at all. But like I said, when you're first learning to draw, the more detail you put in it, the better for you because it's just going to help you in your painting process. You're going to be amazed at everything you pick up from drawing. So, something just popped up here on my screen. I can't see comments. So hold on one second. Let me get this off. All right. Hello, Rose. All right. So, I just grabbed this photo and it is a little bit angled. It has some angled lines on there, but I'm thinking we can handle this. And I did print it out instead of using my iPad. If you are drawing and you want to use your iPad or a phone, you can enlarge the screen and see things a whole lot better sometimes rather than a photo. But I wanted to have it right next to where I was drawing at so that you could see both of them. And I couldn't have my big iPad down here at the same time, and I'm using my phone to video. So, gotta do what you gotta do. Um, I know I was going to say something else, but I don't remember what it was. So this one is kind of is on sitting on a hill, and you can see it going up right here, and then you've got a tree line back here, and then you also have mountains right back here, and then some cloud work here. As always, when you are going to paint a photo, you have free reign to paint it however you want to. You can leave out as much, you can put in more. So it's totally up to you to do that. So let's just start with the church first. Trying to make sure my paper's in the screen, and I'm going to take me off. Bye. There we go. Now you can see it all. See all that lovely color over here? Isn't that beautiful? Um, okay. So I'm going to just slide him over a little bit. I have this actually drawn off at the same size of this. All right. Let's start with the front of the church first. And it does not go up to a point. The roof line, it goes up and it is squared off right there, okay? So we're just going to try to mimic what we see here. I'm going to come over this about a little more than midway. And I'm going to go up with a line. And I probably have gone over too far, or either I have made that too big. I'm just going to shrink it down just a little bit. I tend to get carried away and go big or go home kind of mentality. Go up just a little bit more. And then I'm going to go over with my line. And then I'm going to pull that down. So it basically makes a triangle, but it has a squared off top. So you can absolutely do this. I'm going to pull a line down. I just came in from that eave just a little bit and pulling a line down. And then I'm going to come across at the same place and pull one down this way. But this time I'm going to be right on that tip of that. All right. Now we're going to, this is going to be a slight angle. You can lay your pencil down and transfer it over to help you with that angle. And then this one goes up a little bit. And then down, makes a box. But notice the angled lines, one's going down, one's going up just a little bit there. And then I think we're going to get this part in, the steeple first. So let's come up from the edge right here with a line going straight up and down. Going to come over with another one here. I'm going to pull a line coming across right there because that's like the base of the steeple. I'm going to carry this down at an angle. That part right there. And then I'm going back up like a backwards check mark. And then I can, so I've got this first part in right here, that main part. Now I'm going to pull a line down to that check, the little point right there. And then I will have another line coming down to the back end. Now this is where everything gets tricky. It's getting these angles just right. And you don't really have to do that unless you're wanting to get it just right. When I'm painting to paint, I just loosely put this stuff in here. I don't even try to get all that. That would mainly probably be painted quickly with a dark color and not trying to get all these angles in. But if you notice right here, this goes out at a angle this way. And then back here, you've got one that goes out more toward the right. Then it goes up a little bit and then comes back in. I don't try to get all this right for the purposes that I use it for. And then I'm coming across. I'm just going to quickly throw that in there and not worry about it. Now I'm going to come up and make another triangle. It's going to come back and meet that back here. See, I feel like I have that too far out, but I'm going to double this line so I've got that shadow part right there. And again, I got really big as usual. I'm not to scale, so I don't have room for my steeple. And I totally don't like this right here. Let me put the roof line in right here first. Angles are extremely hard. So I'm coming in. You can lay your pencil down if you want to try to get that angle just right. And I went too far out, so I'm just going to shrink it in a little bit. Hey, Judy. And I need this roof line to come at an angle itself, like right here. So I erased that part right there. The more you do this, the better you're going to get at it. But this is not right here. This is so not right. So I'm going to shrink it down and just throw it on here and not worry about all that angled stuff. Again, if you're drawing it just to, that's not even at the right angle. Let me redo that. And now I'll just put the windows in when we get done. All right, so now I'm going to come back to right below. Just want to see where everything starts at. This back roof line comes right above this one a little bit and then angles down. Then it comes down about this far, comes across, and then come in from the outside edge just a little bit, and then up from the bottom just a tad. So you can elongate any of these lines right here if you need to. But it is going uphill right here anyway. So the grass line is going like this. And then it kind of comes over like that and makes a little hill. All right. So we have these little windows in here. This one is a slight angle down to the left, comes up on the sides. And then you've got a little curved motion and then little squared off. So it makes like, let me show you right here. Well, that worked out great. Hold on. It makes this shape right here. On the windows. This one's more facing me, but it's a lot smaller. And then this one is just going to be a hint at a window back there, so you don't have to get as much detail in there. Okay. I don't even like to try to get these this decorative stuff that's up here. These are a lot of angles, but I'm just going to throw something in there to mimic that. I'm not trying to get it exact, but it's skinnier on the left side than it is on the right. I don't even try to get it right. Then I'm going to double this line coming up here. I just like to put something in there to mimic what I see. Just, you don't have to have all the details. All right. So that one's coming off of the building just a little bit right there. So now I can put my door. It comes up like this and back down, an oval door. But if you notice, you're looking at it from this direction, so you see more of the side of the entrance going in. So you just put a little curved line coming in right there, and you're going to leave that white. That's part of the church building. And then the door is seemingly open, so it's darker, or it could just be the door itself. So it's darker right there. Now you've got it mimics this shape that you have up there, like a quatrefoil kind of shape. So it's kind of curved at the top, curved at the bottom, curved on the right, curved on the left. And then same thing with that door. You're going to see the inside of it more, and it will be darker over here. And then we have square windows. Of course, you can change any of this. If you are wanting to do a painting of churches and you do as many different ones as you want, this one's not angled right. None of them are really. You can change up anything you want to. So we could take these windows out right here. We can just use this picture as the bones of, or the basis of a painting. We just use the base of the outline and then change up anything we want to change up. I'll show you that in a minute. Let's get those windows in first. And you do the same shadowing and stuff. It's got a little light color on the inside right there because you're seeing inside to the cement building, the windows on the inside. All right, so we have our roof line. Just go ahead and we've got our front doors. Shadow that in a little bit. This is a little darker coming down right there. Does have some gutters, but I'm not going to put that in there. All right, so the same thing in these windows up here. You're going to see shapes, which is the dark part. Your shadows, everything makes a shape. And if you see, let me pick this up and show you. You don't have to be so technical with it, though. Do you see those shapes now that it has focused in? So I just kind of mimic what I see in here. Like with the dark, I would just mimic that dark shape that I see inside that window. Hey, Lynn and Rosie. So, and when you've got tiny little windows, you just make it up as you go. All right. So we got our windows over here. I'm just going to go ahead and pretend we're doing this church just the same way. And just, we are drawing ovals. Everybody can draw an oval, and these are not exact, as you can see. And then as I was talking about those shapes, can you see it makes an L shape? The dark part makes an L shape on the inside of these windows. So all you are going to do is just kind of bring that L shape in and then shadow that in. So if you were painting this, you would just paint that in with a dark color. Remember, your dark colors don't always have to be black. All right, so you're going to have some shadow work back here. I see shadow up under here. There's shadow up under here. And mainly this whole side is shadowed a little bit. So you have a little deeper shadow right there. And then the light is hitting on the front side of that church. You see it's a lot lighter here than it is over there. Same thing with back in here, be shadowed just a little bit more. All right, so we have a church. Now we can leave it like that. We can change it. You saw how I changed up. I didn't try to go and do that just right. I just am not into it for that at all. If you are, then you can spend a lot more time and really work on those angles. And you'll get it eventually. It just takes some practice. Angles are extremely hard. All right, so we could change this up and totally have a different church by just changing up our windows and our doors, or we could just leave the window. We could change up this whole scene and not have all of that going on, or we can leave it. It's up to us. So we could take these windows and go up and even curve them over. And then you could come in, instead of shadowing them the way that they're shadowed, you could turn them into stained glass windows. You can take this and move it up and just do a circle. It's going to go over to that left just a tad bit more so than to the right. It's not going to be absolutely centered. And then you can do the stained glass windows up in here. It can be down in here. And then these, they can be oval like they are, or you can square off the bottom. The line will go with these lines, and then it will curve like it is already. And then you can put your stained glass in there and have a total different church, which I love so much more. I'm just thinking. All right, so you can do a colored door, have a whole different church. And then your roof line, your roof colors can be any color. They don't have to be black. They can be red, they can be green, they can be purple, deep blue, whatever. Play around with those things like that. So let's come in and put this tree line. The tree line starts at the back right here and it just kind of goes up. And then in the front, it kind of comes down and then it disappears. You can't see that, can you? I pulled up my iPad just so I could be watching what y'all are seeing. All right. And now we have, you can choose, remember, you can choose to leave anything, take out, whatever, add to it. You've got these trees laying right in here and it's going kind of downhill like this. So let's come in. There's a tree that's off to the side of the building. So we've got this little hump that comes over. Let's make it a little more pronounced right there. And I'm going to put a little bush back here. And I see a few little branches coming off of it. Just going to pretend we got some greenery on it. And it's going to go behind the church so it won't come over. But you could change it up. It could be sitting right here. You could bring it down in the foreground and then it could be going over the church. See how many things you can do to change something up so it's not the same. So just by erasing the side of the church right here, you can bring that bush. And then by bringing that line, instead of behind the little hill, it's in front. So it puts it in the foreground. And then you would shadow it. It's going to be shadowed on that right side. Shadow it a little bit right there. And it puts it right there in the foreground of the church. But if you want it in the background, you leave it behind the hill. And then it will not come over that line of the church. It goes to the side. All right. It told me it wants cobblestone. I know it's screaming that. And that's what's so beautiful about doing any of this. It just lends a hand to whatever comes. This is why I preach to y'all all the time. Whatever comes to your mind is what you should do because that is your heart and soul speaking to you right now. I'll come back to that. I'm going to put some more trees in. So I'm just going to pull up some tree trunks real quick right here. I'm not even going to try to mimic what they are exactly, but I am also going to put some in the distance. So if you put them in a distance, they're not going to come down as far as these. They're going to stop back there some. So I'm going to do one a little bit longer than that one, but not as long as this one. And then put a few little branches I see coming off. And then well, I'm just playing with this part. I'm not trying to get it. We can let's bring this one up a little bit higher. I'm just wiggling some lines in, pretending these are trees, but I would just do all that with paint. Okay, so we have a line that comes down back here. That's like a shadow line, or it could be like the valley and a little valley back there. And you're going to have shadow. That whole area is shadowed right there. So we could bring now, we've got some mountainous areas back here. Can just bring in some little mountains. We've got one in front, and then you got one that is in the back, or several. I just kind of mimic what I see in the photo. And then over here, you've got mountains that come up. It just gives you more stuff to paint. and more visual interest when you add all that stuff in there. Isn't that cool right there? So you've got your line here that comes out. You see that whole shadow area, all that right there is shadowed coming back this way. But you also have this tree line that comes up from, it comes here, but you can put that anywhere. Doesn't matter. So I'm just going to put it back up some. And there's a little darkness there before the trees actually start. All right. And then, of course, you've got some clouds. You could draw those in, or you can leave them out and just paint them in whenever you get ready to paint. Just kind of loosely put them in. Sometimes I will draw them in with chalk wherever I want them to be. Like I'm just making this up. I'm not going by the photo at all. See if y'all can see those. Let me let it focus. I just got them lightly put in there. Sometimes I'll put them in like that because the way I paint around them, and then I'll do several coats or whatever. So, all right. So Lynn wants a cobblestone parkway. She wants a parkway, not a walkway. Hold on a minute. I had to get some fuel. All right. So where would your cobblestone parkway go? Would it come this way? No, it is going to go this way. So it's going to go more out like this. Something like that in that direction. So then you can just start doing random little circular formations. Some can be longer, some can be skinny, some can be going in different directions. They can just be oblong or short and long and skinny, fat, whatever. You just don't want them all in the same direction and the same size all over. So you're going to have little small ones in between. And I say, let's put us a little bush or something right in here. That would be really pretty. Maybe one back here. A little taller, a little different. So many different things you can do. You could also come in right here where that is going uphill. Let's just come right into right next to the church with a line. Whoops. I'm trying to be on the line and then draw another line. And then going to put in a little fence. I'm just showing you all the options, and this is not all of them, it's just some, but you can see how dramatically it will change just by adding or taking away certain things. So now all that is behind that fence right there, and then we could absolutely come in and like maybe put one back here somewhere. Just a hint of it. Back behind. So the church is on this side of that fence all the way around. So then I feel like this is some blank space, but you can always, hey, Anna, thank you so much. You can always, whenever you need to fill a space, it doesn't have to be with an item like a subject, like a bush or a tree. You absolutely could come in here with a tree and add something here in the foreground. It could come down like this. And then a tree right here. This is just a makeshift tree. It does not look good at all. But you could add that right there if you wanted to. But you don't have to. You can make that work just by adding a swish of color. You can make the eye go all the way around this painting and not have to put a subject in like a tree, but you could just add a swish of color, a different color, a bold color, or something in that grass right there that would absolutely pull that eye back around here. You could add scrapbook paper, little swatches of scrapbook paper in here to add a little more visual interest, and it would pull the eye back down here and you wouldn't have to have that tree right there. Rose said it's so fun to play around with drawing. I think it is too, Rose. I think it is, Rose. I think it's so much fun. And to see that there's so many, you can just take one photo and you can see what it could turn into. It just takes some willingness to try to play around. And that's why having a scrapbook or whatever, it's not what it's called. I'm losing my mind. But take this photo and just try to draw as many different ideas on this one page or either 2 pages, 3 pages. Plan it out and see how many different ways you can a sketchbook. Thank you, my little friend. Yes, my brain, my part Lynn is my other part of my brain. Lose it at times. But see how many different ways you can draw this out. And then I'm going to tell you a little secret. You can take it and turn it over. You see through it. Can you see? Let me check my iPad to see if you can see that. I can see it on my screen, but you've got the other direction right there that you can play around with, putting that church in the other directions. You can hold this up to a window, or you can do it on your phone, or you can put it on a light box and then let the light show through it, like this light box I have here. And I don't have my light box hooked up, but I can see the lines through here. So you can turn the orientation of your church around. I can't see the roof because it's a little darker. And then you have your church going in the opposite direction. Those little light, I call it a light box. I don't know. These are very inexpensive on Amazon. I've got the link in my Amazon shop, and you can pick that up so cheaply. And it comes in handy for a lot of things, especially if you're doing mixed media collage, all that kind of stuff. But in for instances where you want to flip a building around, it comes in very handy. Or, like I said, you can use your window if you're not working at nighttime. You just hold it up to a window and you'll see through it. All right. Hey, Michelle. All right, so that's it, folks. That is it. Just some ideas of how to, draw off this basic church, and don't try to be perfect with it. And then play around with the ideas of where it could go and what could happen in this scenario. What is the story that this is trying to tell? Um, it would be so fun if you do people, and I don't. Not figuratively, like these little, I could just see little kids out here playing around the church, Ring Around the Rosie, something like that right there. I just think that would be a fun, super fun idea. Anything like that, or people walking into the church, two figures. It doesn't have to be um like realistic figures, just shadows of figures with a dress and a suit or something like that going into the church or coming across the lawn. So many ideas. Thank you, Lynn. Lynn just put the link to that light box in there if you want to check it out. It's not expensive at all. There's just so many things you could do here. And then color. you can do it if you are an artist that does muted colors, then you stay with your color palette that you paint all the time. You may do all your paintings in a muted color palette. That's so totally not me. I love it when I see it, but it's not who I am. So I like to use every color in the rainbow right here. And I would add all that in there. So remember, when you're doing colors as well, that your mountains don't have to be like a green. Oh, it's a regular 25. You can get it for 15, Lynn said. How about that? I don't even pay attention to that kind of stuff. I never even go and check. But thank you for that, Lynn. Y'all better go grab it real quick. That's really cheap. But anyway, your mountains can be blue, purple, whatever back in here. So cool to play around with that kind of stuff. And then your clouds, they can be whatever. Your whole sky can be whatever. Right here in this sky, I see a lot of light right in here. And then more bluey out in this way. So there's a lot of super, super light blue right in here. And then it gets more blue out around these areas here. And then, of course, you got your little clouds in there too. So those are the things you look at when you're looking for help with a painting or a picture or whatever. A lot of times the picture will give you what you need. And then if not, you make it up and go like we did here. Just add whatever. Can add colorful flowers out here in the field. Or you could add some horses, cows, sheep. Sheep would be fun in a church painting. So many different things. So just think. You just got to sit on it and think about it. What can I do? And then if you need help with it, like if I don't know how to draw sheep, so you pull up a sheep and you look at it and you just kind of mimic the little shapes of them out here in the field. It doesn't have to be like realistic or anything like that. And they're going to be so small because they're off in a distance that you're just going to hint at it. You're not really drawing a full-fledged sheep. So you could even print one out really tiny and trace it if you wanted to. And then just do it in different directions and everywhere out. And the further away they are, the smaller they're going to be. All right. So I hope that helps you with your creativity. And then you could also come in and put words and stuff like that on your painting if you are into doing quotes and um, all that kind of stuff. Like I could just see some coming across here, really pretty, written really nice and pretty, hand lettered or something like that. Would be very nice. So there you have it. Does anybody have any questions before I hop off here? Pull me back up. Let me know if you have any questions about this whole process. This is a great way to get ideas to do a collection of paintings. So you, instead of just doing one painting of a church, okay, what am I going to paint tomorrow? What am I painting the next day? Do a whole collection of churches. Like this whole month for me and my memberships are all about churches. So I'm personally doing it myself as well. I'm taking what I tell you to do, and I'm doing that and I'm not showing you yet. I'm tempted. I got a whole bunch of them over here. But I do as many as I can in different ways that I can, different backgrounds and all the stuff. So just think of different ways you can change it up and add to it, just like we did right here in this. You're welcome, Judy Kane. Thank you for sprinkling. I appreciate that. All right. So that's it for this Tuesday. I'll be back next Tuesday and we will probably paint something. Who knows? Maybe we'll come back and paint this church. We'll see. So y'all have a fantastic week and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye. Uh, Lynn, oh, thank you, Lynn. Lynn said you can still jump in on the churches with us by hopping in the Paint Night Monthly. Paint Night Monthly. Thank you for that, Lynn. My brain, I don't think of nothing. That's why I have Lynn. Paint Night Monthly is one lesson a month, and you can hop in and paint one simple painting a month with us in there. It's only $25 a month. You get a steal. If you paint with me in person, it's a whole lot more. So jump in that once a month painting group and paint a church with us. All right. Y'all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.